And we are live. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Beyond the 90. Another very special video for you with a special guest. We've got Owen, Southampton fan. Owen, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Yeah, been good.
Good to hear. Good to hear. And then, obviously, Southampton fan. How's the Saints? How's again? Transfer window's been actually quite decent for you guys,
It,
but just
it has
let
been.
me know about Saints.
Well, exactly. Well, we've got the new owners in now, haven't we? So, so I think it's about £50 million spent so far, and this is without taking a single player out of the club as well. So, honestly, for me, it's great because I think it's the most Southampton have ever spent ever in like a window, which is pretty crazy. Obviously, we've got a new philosophy now as well. So, I think we've got what's his name, John Shields in, who was Man City academy technical director or something like that. He was head of recruitment or something like that. But honestly, we've brought him in, and honestly, this new policy we have about bringing in young players has really been helping us. But yeah, a lot of new signings. A lot of them are young, very young, very inexperienced, which is a bit risky, and we're still yet to know if it's going to work. Obviously, 2 games in, you can't really tell. Tottenham was a bit horrific, but obviously you can see the coming against Leeds. But yeah, no. Without taking out a single player, honestly, £50 million spent is very promising.
It is, because considering as well, it was a lot. Well, I'm surprised we haven't taken any of your players. We can't afford them, but it's been literally in terms of it's. We'll get onto that in terms of that's another thing in itself, isn't it? With the transfers, we'll get onto that because my god. But again, you've had some great buys, I think, as well. Joe Aribo's a good buy. I think there's for me, there's some great players in there as well. But it's just. Again, with these new owners, they are cricking onto a new level. So, again, you're feeling confident going into this season. What are your thoughts? Because obviously, new owners are coming in as well.
Confident is a very hard word, in my opinion, just because you just can never really tell, especially being a Southampton fan. I don't know. Look, these young players, it's sort of time will tell is how it will be. You know what I mean? It's like I'm just really uncertain of the inexperience and all of that. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, Joe Aribo. I don't know if you haven't seen his goal in pre-season. It was against Villarreal. Oh, you need to have a look. Trust me, he takes on. I'm not even joking. 6, 7, 8 players, and he just keeps going through, weaving through the team, and nets it in. Honestly, he's a quality player, and I didn't know coming from obviously score. I knew that he scored in the Europa League final. And other than that, I didn't really know much about him. I knew he was a regular for Rangers and stuff like that, on the ball and stuff like that. But honestly, until saw him against Tottenham, he was a bit quiet. But against Leeds, really, because Ralph Hasenhuttl didn't start him at first. He sort of changed the squad do you know what I mean? Give it a bit of rotation. But as soon as he came on, changed the game completely. Really, really good. Romeo Latvia as well. Honestly, I'm very impressed with him. Very inexperienced as well, being, I think, 18, nearly 19 years of age, which is seriously young. Being in the Prem, especially starting next to Prowse at that age. But no, honestly, I could see big things coming for Lavia as well. So yeah, looking promising. I hope.
But it's one of those things that I'm with you, because again, for supporting Leicester City, where we've recently gone through a development a couple of years back. Now, not necessarily as much, when Maddison was 22 and like Tillemans was 22, and there was a lot of Chilwell at that time, where there were young players that you just don't know. But again, it's the mentality thing of, can they keep it up game after game after game? But you just don't know. But it frustrates you because they've gone hot and cold spells. But again, if it goes right, it could really take off.
You're right. If it goes right, it can really work. It's just I'm just a bit wary about the experience in our team. As in, you've got Ward-Prowse in there. We sold Fraser Forster to Tottenham. I just feel like we still needed him to give that bit of leadership around the dressing room. I just don't like the sound of inexperience, especially when you're coming up against the bigger teams. You need someone to take the team along the way. But yeah. I don't know.
You need that calm, experienced head, potentially not even on the pitch, just in that squad. And we noticed that, especially with like Wes Morgan leaving, even though he wasn't playing that many games, just his presence, and with Kasper Schmeichel leaving as well. Yeah, just in the whole. Yeah, he's gone to Nice, and it's again. I did a whole different video on that because I was not happy. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, it was all about, again. It's not what they do on the pitch; it's more off the pitch. Right, these are the values we hold. If some people are getting carried away, they kind of rein your neck in a little bit. It's that kind of off the pitch thing that's really, really important. And as part of that as well, got a few comments in. Ant's already here, and good evening, my friend. Get this man out of our club. Talk about Rodgers. We'll get onto that in a bit. And then we've got Terry. Evening, Terry. Good to see you again. And then we've got one question for you as well, Owen. And Charlie goes, "What's wrong with Vestergaard? Has he always been that bad?"
Oh, don't. Vestergaard's a difficult one, actually. Really difficult one, because when we signed him, I forgot where we signed him from, but we signed him for a hefty amount. I think it was 80 signed him for. I think it was from a Bundesliga side. I think it was Werder Bremen or something like that. Or it was Mönchengladbach.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's one of the three. But he came in, and honestly, he had the longest hair. He was absolutely atrocious. Honestly, I was one of them. Couldn't have him. Too slow for the Prem, first of all. So honestly, one of the slowest players in the Prem by a country mile. Obviously, you would think his aerial ability is pretty good just because of the tall guy is. But honestly, like with experience, he couldn't jump. Something about him I just didn't like. But then all of a sudden, I know it sounds weird, he cuts his hair and he turns into some amazing centre back. It really, really odd. But honestly, I was really starting to like him. Do you know what I mean? He just looked like that experienced guy in the defence, calm, composed on the ball. And this is literally just a switch, just like that. And you just think, where was this guy when we brought him? It's just weird, isn't it? And I think that's the Vestergaard that you saw and obviously you bought. And yeah, obviously it hasn't worked out as planned.
No, it's not worked out. That's being kind, to be honest. The thing is, he had a great first game, and him, and we'll get on to probably Bertrand in a little bit as well. But in terms of Vestergaard, his first game against Southampton, when they were coming against Man City, we were looking, this guy's really good. He could absorb the pressure, play the ball out from the back. I was thinking, yeah, this guy's going somewhere. And then he's stuck in a two at the back with Hasenhuttl, and his turning circles like a ship. He just kind of the player's gone and he's still turning. Yeah. You're just like,
I know exactly what you mean. I really do. Man, you're right about his long distance passing is honestly unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. As in for us, every single game, you could just ping a ball to Walker Peters and it would be a 50-55 yard pass. Honestly, straight to the feet. It was quality at passing, but everything else weren't quite there. But yeah.
No. And it's just again, I think he'll do well if he goes from the Italian league where he's got time on the ball. He could be a brilliant player. I just think the Premier League's too quick for him, and he was outdone in the Europa League so many times. He's left on his backside.
Really, yeah. No, I know the Prem is completely so much more fast paced, isn't it? Really, you see so many players coming into the Prem, and you think, oh yeah, they're going to do great. They've done it in other leagues, they're proven, and then as soon as they come in, it's completely different. Honestly, the pace of the just on it, you won't believe until you actually play. It's one of them things. But,
and especially with our club signing kind of younger players, and you're not sure. I think you've seen it with like Lamina getting like was it Gabbiadini a few years back, where I was like, this guy is going to be a fantastic player, and it just never quite works. But it's just about did they get the opportunity and will they thrive? Sometimes they'll go other places and they'll just take off. But we take the risk with our kind of teams, and we just see if they can work.
We really do. I mean, Gabbiadini is a great example. I don't remember, but he joined us, and it was one of them weird ones. He joined, hit the ground running. Honestly, he got about 5 goals in 3 games. He scored 2 in the EFL Cup final against United in a massive, massive game for us. Obviously, being a smaller club in the Prem, all of a sudden just drops off. Which it was a weird case. Do you know what I mean? For a player joining from another league, but still, so you're just proving, isn't it? They just all drop off after a while.
Yeah, and it's just some of the things, but then that's the risk that you take with not playing loads of money. You just kind of go, right, is this player going to work? Or we've had it with Hasenhuttl recently, where he was phenomenal the first couple of years, and then all of a sudden, I don't know if his confidence or something like that, or his form just went off, and he's probably going to leave in a free next year. It looks like. So it's just one of those ones, you know. And then another player again from that we got from you last year. Last year? Yeah, it was last year. God, it feels like a long time ago.
Yep.
Ryan Bertrand, what are your initial thoughts? Because again, that link was for ages. And
yeah, Ryan Bertrand, it's a weird one again. It's a weird one. How old is he now? Do you know?
He's injured. And he's about 32.
No.
Yeah, he's been injured for since about March, April.
Really? Yeah. To be fair, as soon as he hit 30 for us, he was getting injured more often. But it obviously happens with most players as soon as he hit that 30 mark, doesn't it? But Bertrand, honestly, I think we signed him from. Where did we sign him from? Absolutely useless. Where did we sign him from? I think it was
Chelsea. No.
I think it went on loan at Villa, and then we signed him from Chelsea. But honestly, first couple of seasons for us, quality play. That was when we had the prime team of Mane, Tadic, Pella, all of that lot. So it was all working for us at that time. But
Pella
him and that
great striker. I really loved Pella as a striker.
He was brilliant.
As well.
One of them old sort of strikers. You know what I mean? Slow, good in the box, good with his head. Honest, I'm the same as you. I really loved Pella. But no, Bertrand, he thrived in that sort of team, that was doing well. But as soon as we sort of dropped down the table, 17th, 18th every season, he just sort of fell with the defence. Just, you know what I mean? He's kept lacking a bit of pace. Didn't really have the pace he had when he was about 26, 27. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't the same left back as he was. He was on the verge of the England squad. Do you know what I mean? When he just joined the Saints, but now he's just one of them players who needs to sort of move off. But
yeah, and that's how we feel at the moment, to be honest. He was supposed to be cover. And do you know what? This is another example of a bit of this kind of, I don't know if this is an exclusive, but we've heard. So we were supposed to, this is where Brendan Rodgers is. We'll get on to Rodgers and Hasenhuttl in a bit and why this video is called El Sackico, because it feels a bit like that. In terms of, we were supposed to, so we picked up Bertrand. And the player we were supposed to sign, who we scouted, who we were going to get in, and the club go, this is the guy to get. And Rodgers goes, no, I want Bertrand. That player was Cucurella. We could have had Cucurella as part. Yeah, we scouted him as part of the squad, and we had him ready to go. And Rodgers goes, no, get this guy in. I prefer. We're going to get him. He's much better. And
yeah.
Do you know to be 62 mil?
Yeah, to be fair, I know mental price in it really, but no, to be fair, we had sort of had the similar sort of. I don't even know if you know this, to be honest. When you signed, obviously you signed N'Golo Kante. We were looking at two players as like a CDM for us. It was N'Golo Kante and Jordi Classy, the guy that we actually bought from Feyenoord. But we were so close to signing N'Golo Kante, and who knew the player that he turned out to be? Do you know what I mean? You just get that in football, though, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. You just get it into the point where you always, if only. But then that's such his life, you know. It's kind of you have to move over. But you're like, all right. But again, since we're talking about Bertrand, I just had to bring that up. Another one as well that I think a player that I really rate from I'd love again, Mohamed Salasu, centre back, so quick, so good on the ball, and just every time I've played against him, I'm like, this guy's class.
He's a quality player. It's like he's one of them players who's really technically gifted on the ball. Do you know what I mean? He may not have a right foot. He's just really, really strong with his left. So that's why we play him on the left-sided centre back. But honestly, he can. Oh, obviously, he's not a Vestergaard, but he does have slight Vestergaard attributes in him. As in that's what we were looking for. He can ping a pass. He can. Do you know what I mean? He can make them last-ditch tackles. May not have the aerial ability because his height ain't the greatest. But yeah, last season, probably one of our top 3 players, Salasu. But this, I don't know if you saw the Tottenham game, but his own goal was absolutely dreadful. It was just one of the running back last minute, tries to clear it, sort of falls on his own feet, and it just ends back of the net. It was terrible. You need to have a look, trust me.
Nah, do you know what? We've had that with Wes Morgan so many times where he's just in the wrong spot and he just goes, nothing I can do. And it's especially when we came up to the Premier League, that happened. It felt like that happened so much, but probably happened less than I thought. But it's so annoying because you're thinking that there's not even an opportunity, it's not even a chance, but it goes in. You're thinking, just feel for the player a little bit, but I wish it didn't happen.
No, I get what you mean. I really do get what you mean. Honestly, it just happens in football, though, and you just can't explain it. Fans go off of the players, but do you know what I mean? They always regain the.
Yeah, definitely agree there. So again, another 2 players that were actually linked to Leicester from Southampton. I don't remember early in the transfer window. Elyounoussi was linked, and also, Elyounoussi was linked quite heavily to Leicester, and we went, why no? It didn't make any sense. And I think he was looking to get a new contract. Sometimes they all do that, where they're like, oh, we linked to this kind of player. That's why Maddison's been linked to Newcastle, because they want a new contract for Leicester. The other one recently has been Jan Bednarek. So it literally.
I have heard I have heard that one, to be fair, and I obviously I knew I was going to bring it up some point in the podcast. All of these defenders that lost in the 9-0, you want to take. It baffles me. It really does baffle me. But like, you can have Bednarek. Honestly, I really couldn't give a toss about Jan Bednarek. In all fairness, really couldn't. Just he's good on his day. Honestly, he's actually good on his day. But sometimes he's not. I just don't class him as a good Premier League defender, and I just don't understand why so much interest in him. In all fairness, but obviously Leicester is seeing something that I can't see. Do you know what I mean? I'm a fan at the end of the day. But
you should be. I think in terms of we got 50 million for Bender, for Vestergaard and Bertrand on a free. I mean, credit to you guys for getting it. It's like us with Man United, kind of with the Maguire deal, because it's like we're looking at going. Like we're laughing all the way to the bank.
We'll take that. Exactly. It is that. Trust me. We had it with Van Dijk. But obviously, he's turned out to be probably the best defender in the world. But we've had it with so many. Obviously, the market's changed, doesn't it? But back then, like, what was it? You know about the amount of players that Liverpool taken from us. There was so many. Like you think about Sadio Mane, £30 million back then. Think about what that's worth now. Do you know what I mean?
Which people thought was crazy back then.
I know exactly. 30 million back then, and this was only about 5-6 years ago. In that market was a crazy amount, and now you just think, how much could we have sold? How much could we have sold Van Dijk for? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100 plus easy, because considering the Man United. Yeah, Harry Maguire's kind of the benchmark now. Is still the most expensive again with Fofana links at the moment, and the club kind of in disarray, to be honest, a little bit with. Fofana's trying to force a move. Brendan Rodgers is not playing ball. Again, we're getting something at the moment. Going into this match, it seems like, again, if you have any fight in you, I think you could potentially beat us, to be honest, going into this game.
You really think so? It's really difficult for me to put like a scoreline or a prediction on it, just because I have so early in the season, so many new signings. Obviously, more so for us. I don't know about you.
Got one third choice keeper.
Been too busy at all, but yeah, it's really hard to put a prediction on. I know the way our team plays, we for some reason we play really, really well against the top teams, because we sit back against them and we can counter-attack really well against them. But against these, I'm not going to call Leicester a lower half, so you know what I mean, like a mid-table team at the minute. Yeah, we try and play a possession game, and it really just doesn't work for us, because we always get caught out somehow. There's just so many inconsistencies in our passes. It's just every game, as a Southampton fan, at the minute, you always expect a mistake. It's bound to happen. It's just how football goes, and you sort of want to cut out the mistakes, because that's what the top teams do, really. Do you know what I mean? You see very little mistakes from the United. Well, maybe not the Uniteds, but the Cities and the Liverpools. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's hard to put a prediction on it.
But it's great how you did that as well, because again, I think we've both seen the boastful glory Man United fans over the years. That I always say that if you go to any business, pretty much anywhere in the world, you'll find a Man United fan, you'll find a Liverpool fan. They're just everywhere. Do you know what I mean? And so in terms of that, I'm just thinking, so I'm not relishing in it, but I'm like, this is what it's like to be a lower league fan when everything goes wrong.
Right, I really do. I love it. I love them being all the way down. I love Man United being bottom of the league. I hope they go down. I don't care, because I love seeing them salty. It's just one of them fans. I'm guessing you do as well. It's what we love, seeing the top teams.
Welcome to my life. I've been supporting this for the majority of my life.
Yeah, exactly. I just think it's great. I hope they go down. I really don't care. But yeah, it's just one of them things, football fan.
Yeah, exactly. And again, this is just a big giant coming into play. So I'm there going, no, don't feel sorry for you. I've been in the worst positions than you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Join the club. Like, it's just you're not a big team anymore. And the realization kicking in when they're 4-0 down.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's up to there. But yeah. Coming into obviously with Ralph, I know there's a reason why, again, it's called El Sackico. I think our manager, so Rodgers, I think Hasenhuttl, and I think Lampard's like the three managers that are rumored to like pretty much go first as well.
Yeah.
How is he with the fans? I've heard a few fans have been turning on him like, right, I just think he's run his race.
Look, I'm guessing you're the same as me. I follow so many fan accounts on Instagram and stuff like that, and you hear so many sources come through, tier 1, tier 2, all of that, like, and you struggle to believe half of it. Obviously, it sometimes comes one ear out the other. One of them things. But I did hear one thing the other day. I struggle to believe this, but apparently he's lost his dressing room. Players are not really understanding his tactics anymore. They sort of think, where is he going with this? What's really happening? But I don't believe that. But obviously you do hear these things. He's one of them managers. He he can get beat very heavily if he doesn't get it right. He's one of them, as in like you've seen in the past. Obviously, we go down to 10 men. It really it falls. As in other teams can sort of hold out for a draw, maybe nick a point. But we honestly, I don't know what happens to us, but we just deteriorate. We just don't have a plan B. Let's say, do you know what I mean? We don't have a backup to what our usual formation or our game plan is. There's just something with Ralph I just don't understand. And he's been here for 4 years now. And you'd think by this time, he's got a strategy that he's going to implement and we're going to start seeing results. Obviously, we do now and then, but there's always inconsistencies. And then you start to question again, is this right? Is this the right man? Obviously, I've always been Ralph Hasenhuttl in just because I'm a fan of him personally. I'm a fan of the football he plays. I don't know, football. But I do quite like how he plays his football. It's just, it's just the inexperienced, the young players. It's just a bit sketchy for me personally. But,
fair enough. Yeah. I know it's so hard with Ralph because again, I'm not seeing from. It's one thing if you speak to I always think you see it from the outside and you go right from the outside. For example, Claude Puel, great manager. Obviously, we had both of our clubs. And then I saw it from the outside, like they finished 8th. He's finished in a good position. I don't understand why they got rid of him. We had him, and I'm like, I know exactly what you mean. Get him out of my club.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's something that I looked at and I went, they'll be all right. And then if you look at it from an outside perspective, you go, from finished in this position, should be doing okay. Southampton haven't got the high ambitions. And then you have him and you go, you see it on a day-to-day basis, and it's just, oh my God. I remember when you guys played, I think you played Ranieri, he still smashes 3-0. But I remember the football, I was thinking sideways, backwards, defensive, terrible football.
Yeah, it's so I think in our season under Prowse, I think we finished 8th, but our football was honestly terrible. As in we couldn't stand the football. And now you're looking at it in 2022 and you're thinking, I would die for 8th position. I really would. As in I would take anything for an 8th. As in nowadays I could never see us finishing 8th. As in a top half would be unbelievable for us. And I'm getting to the point where I don't care the football that we play as long as it gets us wins. And you didn't really think about it that back then. And I'm looking at Puel's football thinking possession, passing around the back, working an opportunity. I was like, just as a fan sitting in the stands, because I was a season ticket holder, I'm just thinking, God, I can't go through this every single game this season. And now, honestly, I would die for it now, as I said before. I really would.
But again, the boringness. And I remember you guys. I think he was playing the under-23s in the Euros, where you're in Europe as well, and you just threw that away in the group stage, which was just. I was looking. That fan has just been there, just being like, "This is our only, not our only chance, but these don't come around very often. Go for it."
It is to an extent, as in like Europa League for Southampton it's like the Champions League for us, isn't it? Really, do you know, we're in. It's our one opportunity. Whatever the game is, even if we're playing a side who, do you know what I mean, is from Bulgaria, I really don't care. Just please play our best squad. We got to win every single game to get us as far as we can. I just don't understand the point of playing younger players for them sort of games. But look, them times are loads, way past us right now. And I would do anything for Europa League again, to be honest. But
yeah, again, I don't think we're going anywhere near Europe. I think this season, especially at the moment under Rodgers, because it's just seeming bleak at the moment. I just go back into the comments. Absolute use. I think that's in regards to Bertrand, because literally, I'll tell you what, Bertrand had a phenomenal start. He played in the Charity Shield. He was fantastic. Villarreal, incredible, really good. He got COVID and he never looked the same. He just looked slow, lethargic. We played him in against Napoli and he just didn't move. I was like, it's so strange because he had 2 games where I was like, we've got a brilliant buy here, great player, and then he just went injuries and COVID just wiped him out, and he's just not looked the same since. So yeah, and then Terry's put in. We have a defender set 70-80 mil, really suits Southampton. I think it's all about Fofana. Yeah, that's another one for another time because that's a whole saga behind that as well. Amar's put in about Amar in terms of Groundhog Day for Leicester. We're messing about. I can see Southampton winning 2-0. As you can see, we're not feeling too confident at the moment going into this one as well. Terry's put in, I think Rodgers has a share in Southampton with the amount of players we bought.
Everyone does. Trust me. Everyone does.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. And then one player I've actually got as well, obviously one of your star players, James Ward-Prowse. Obviously the England World Cup's coming up. How do you fancy his chances?
He's got to be in it. I feel like every neutral has to agree that Ward-Prowse has got to be in it. I know everyone just thinks he's a set piece taker, all of that, but his all-round game, in my opinion, being a Southampton fan, watching him every single week is actually sublime. He just, I don't really, as stupid as it sounds, he really does remind me of Beckham, not just in the set piece, but the way he plays around the pitch, as in he likes to find the pass. He likes to get into the attacking third. The way his all-round game is very, very underrated. That's why I really like Ward-Prowse. And obviously his set pick, like picture him in the England squad. We need a winner. You could see him at least putting a good ball in, and then Kane on the end, something like along those lines. And I feel like that's what we missed in the Euros, in those particular moments when we needed a goal of some sort.
And I think he can play that position where if you have a Rice or you have a Calvin Phillips, now that Calvin Phillips has gone to Man City, I feel like, even though he's on the bench, that secures his place for England even more now that he's part of the Man City squad. But having one of them and having somebody in front like a Ward-Prowse would help that team. Again, he can track back, play along. He's not play a double pivot, but he can track back, play that defensive cover, and then go forward and explore and pick passes. I think that's what we really miss with England.
We seriously do. We seriously do. Like, I'm gutted that he weren't in the Euros, and I still don't understand it to this day. I just like so we who did we bring? Calvin Phillips. We
Rice, Henderson, Mason Mount.
That was right. Yeah, he's not really, is he though? Do you know what I mean? He's more attacking Mason Mount, I'd say. But then you don't know with Southgate nowadays, because I've seen him play Ward-Prowse in the Mason Mount position a couple times before. You just really can't tell with what Southgate is trying to I don't understand it, in all fairness. I really don't. But let's just hope. That's all I can say, really.
Yeah, with it coming up, and especially since I think Charlie put in about the World Cup. I think this is what I think that's what the plan. I don't know if it's Southampton planning something similar, but Rodgers is planning to go. I think they're planning, because they've got a 4-week period. They've got a lot of players going. If we're anywhere near the relegation zone, the time to get rid. But again, he's on a hefty contract as well, so I think it'll be around about 26 million to get rid of him. There's a lot to pay out of the rest of his contract. It's a lot of money. And again, we bought, Charles Hasenhuttl for 22 million. So it shows you it's a lot of money to pay out. But that's where the squad is.
So I really rated Hasenhuttl for a couple seasons also, because I thought he was playing really good football from centre back, and all of a sudden you don't really hear from him nowadays.
No, he just, ever since we had, going into the Euros recently, I think last year, and Turkey were one of the dark horses to go and win it. They had some great players in there, and Hasenhuttl was leaving. Hasenhuttl was leading him, and which was great from our perspective. However, we looked at it and went, "Oh my!" And then they just fell apart. Turkey just absolutely fell apart, and he's not looked the same player since, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. It just goes for many signings, though, doesn't it? Really, they did shine for a couple seasons or so, and then you don't see them for the rest of their career, do you? Really?
No, exactly. So we'll have to see. Again, he's still got a year. We're playing the formation that could get the best out of him, but Rodgers being stubborn and not playing him. And we'll have to see. And I think the other thing I've got in terms of that is, are you still playing that 4-2-2-2 formation at the moment?
Honestly, this thing that it drives me insane the most. So we've played 4-2-2, I think, for the good 3 years that Ralph has been here, and we're into the 4th season now that he's been here. All of a sudden, he's gone into pre-season. He's like, right, I'm going to implement a 5-3-2 and see how they get on. And he's gone with this 5-3-2 formation every single game. 3 centre-backs, 2 wing-backs pushing up. And we've gone into the first game of the season against Tottenham with this 5-3-2. And you can see in moments what he's trying to do and how it's working, getting the wing backs up and then cutting the ball back, which is how we scored our goal, obviously. But then, I don't know what it is. We just you'd think 5 at the back, oh yeah, we're going to be bolstered at the back. Hopefully it's going to be harder for teams to score against us. But these wing backs, they're pushed so high, it just allows their wingers to just come. And honestly, the way they just counter our defence is our defence is running back and it's horrible to watch as a fan. But the 4-2-2, honestly, it was my favourite formation. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But it was Ralph Hasenhuttl's game. That was his strategy. That's what he bought from the Bundesliga with Leipzig. That's what he did over there. And it worked for him over there as well, winning 2 titles. And I don't know what it is about this 5-3-2, but it just doesn't work with our club and what we're trying to play. And I just do feel, because we were 2-0 down against Leeds on last Saturday with the 5-3-2, and it got to the 70th minute. He brought on a Rebo and I forgot who else it was, but he changed to 4-2-2, and then we get 2 goals straight away. It just shows that that's how Southampton work with the 4-2-2, and we've tried it for 3 years. We should know in our heads how to play the formation. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I think what it is as well is that how Ralph is potentially, people go, okay, if I want to counter the system, this is how I do it. And you were saying about the fact that our wingers push really high. Ethan's got a good point. We don't have any. We genuinely have no wingers. We're supposed to sign Lookman, didn't work out. Harvey Barnes is injured going into this game as well. So we'll be playing a 3-5-2 going into this game as well. So we're literally matching you up formation to formation.
It'd be interesting to see a 5-3-2 against a 5-3-2 in all fairness, because it doesn't use wingers at all. As in, like, it's funny because you don't have wingers at all, but we're using wingers in the forward positions, which is a bit more weird. Which it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. As in, he was playing. I know Rebo's a bit versatile, but he was playing a Rebo up front with Stuart Armstrong the other day, and you just think these are 2 guys who are not born out and out strikers who you're playing up front. That's where the fans are like, what are you trying to do here? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, fair enough. It makes sense as well. And I think, are you putting in it was you that was putting in a bid for Delap, right? Or is that kind of fell through at Stoke now?
Say that he's gone to Stoke for, I think it's a loan, but we were looking at Delap the whole window. But actually, I've seen something come through today. We're looking at we've just started talks with a guy from Benfica. A couple clubs are looking at him, Wolves and Newcastle, called Gonçalo Ramos. He's a Portuguese.
I've heard that name, yeah.
He looks good. Obviously, you look at the YouTube highlights, don't you? You see, you don't know, and then they come, and then you think, where was this YouTube guy that I just saw? Do you know, it's like that. But yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Fair enough. It could be good. I think that's pretty much everything. Well, the only thing that I've got is obviously we've took your head of recruitment in Martin Glover. He's got a lot of stuff this window. And he's got some great players in for you, I think, for the budget that you had. So again, for me, Selassie was a great buy. I think there was a couple of others as well. But do you have any thoughts on him? Because I know if somebody asked me about my head of recruitment, I could be like, I could tell you a little bit, but I can't go in depth about it.
I felt like head of recruitment is one of them positions in football that most fans don't really know about or understand. As in, they do so much work behind the scenes. As in, Martin Glover, he was great for us. He really was great for us. I'm glad we've replaced him with a guy called Martin Simmons now, who's sort of, in my opinion, he's just as great as he was. But it's just something about I quite rated him in the position that. And he could bring in young. It's sort of the strategy we do now. We bring in young players and we sell them for a higher price. And I feel like he's going to do the same for you, because he really was underrated for us, and he sort of implemented our strategy in buying young and then selling them for more.
Nice one. So who are your who is the signings of them that you were like, okay, that was a great signing? I think for me personally, Selassie was one of them.
So yeah, Selassie. See, there was a couple. I quite liked the Livramento. He was really worked last season. It's a shame that he's injured now until December, because he pulled an ACL last season against Brighton. Livramento was definitely our last season for a country mile. Carl Walker-Peters as well. Love him. He's brilliant. I love him to bits. Just the wing backs really is what I really rated the signings that he got through. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, that's the only thing, because obviously we've got him in now, but you've stuck your what's it called, gardening leave on him, so he can't leave for a certain amount of time, so we won't have time to implement it this season. But anyway, are you going to the game? Are you looking forward to the game? What are your thoughts going into it?
There's a couple tickets left. I'm just trying to find a mate to go with. So yeah, no, I feel like I'll be going to the game. I'm really a bit uncertain, a bit nervous, but I'm sure you're the same. Do you know what I mean? But it's just one of them things it's just going to plan out, and we're going to see how the game unfolds.
Yeah. Let's see, because again, I don't think both of us are that confident. Going into obviously one player I forgot to mention, Leicester boy himself, Che Adams. How's he doing for you?
See, I've heard a lot of things coming through recently from the Athletic, which is supposed to be a tier 1 source, or whatever you want to say, whatever source it is. But Everton are keen to buy him and stuff like that. So there's been Che Adams has been our rumours this season, really. So our fans are a bit uncertain if he should be starting and all that. I've always rated Chad. I think he's a quality striker. His hold-up play is brilliant. He can lead a pass. He set up Armstrong the other day for a good goal. His build-up play is honestly sublime. But then obviously sometimes he struggles with finishing. I would be a bit upset to see him leave, being a big admirer of him. But he's one of my players. He's one of my favourite players. He's really is strong up front, and obviously he's in the Scotland national team as well now. So
yeah, doing all right for Scotland. I think he's getting some good positions, and he's good hold-up play as well, which is great. Bring another player into play into that. Final question again. Charlie's put in the comments: are you nervous? I'm petrified. We've got Chelsea and Man U next. So yeah. So what are your next fixtures as well?
Ours and Man U next. Yeah. That is our fixtures next. I think it is. Yeah, I think it's after you. It's Man United, and then it's Chelsea on a Tuesday. So I think you might have
because ours is Southampton, Man United. No, it can't because ours is literally the same thing.
Are you sure yours is not Chelsea first? It's got to be. Well,
Chelsea first, but it's literally the other way around.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, let me see if I can just find that. Yeah, no worries. Let's see if I can just find just so I can show you. Oh, Stockport. Yeah, but it's literally the opposite way around. So I'll show you for again. I've just found that I was like, when we said about that. Look, if you look here, so I've got Stockport in the cup, in the Carabao Cup, then Chelsea, then Man United, then Brighton.
Round to us. You're the other way round to us. So we've got Cambridge in the cup, and then we've got United on the Saturday, and then Chelsea on the Tuesday.
Do you know what? I really want you to batter Man United. I think.
I would love it because I've never seen. I've seen us beat the big sides, but I've never seen a battering. I've seen Brentford beat them 4-0, and I'm thinking I'd love to do that, and I'd love to be there for that. Seeing Ronaldo suffer is just one of them. One of them things you'd love, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Is it at home or is it away?
No, it's at home. It's at home.
It's
at home. Chelsea's at home as well, so we've got a big chance, which is good.
As long as, again, regardless of what happens to Ralph or whatever the future is, if you get behind the team and you push them, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get through. So just make sure to take it.
Yes, they're at the worst point of their lives. So I just think, why not? Let's just give it our all now and just see what happens, really.
Perfect. Yeah, great. Again, Owen, appreciate you coming on, mate. Thank you so much. Again, I've left a link in the description to your Instagram, but feel free to plug away as well.
Yeah, that's cool, mate. Cheers. It's nice speaking to you.
Yeah, no, it's good to have you again. Good to meet you after the BT Sports League. Great to have you back on again. Again, both didn't get featured, but what can you do? But yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, everybody. Make sure to follow Owen. First link in the description. We'll see everybody in the next video. We'll see you tomorrow for the press conference preview. So goodbye.